And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene. It's our Super Bowl 59 preview show. There's a big game coming up this Sunday. Got a great lineup for you to get you ready for the Super Bowl game. Going to start with the odds for the game with a good friend of ours from Las Vegas. He makes the odds, the line maker, Vinny Magliulo. Las Vegas, he'll be on the show with us. And we'll talk about Oklahoma sports betting with State Senator Dave Rader, what the status is of Oklahoma trying to become a state to legalize sports betting. Norm Hitzges, Dallas Cowboy and Dallas, Texas Hall of Fame radio sportscaster, be on with us. He's covered all but one of the Cowboy Super Bowls. Talk about the Super Bowl and about Jerry Jones and that strange hire of the new head coach. And we'll feature OSU wrestling coach David Taylor, the first $1 million wrestling coach in college athletics. They're worth every penny so far. The Cowboys undefeated. We'll talk with him here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. But first, let's go to our Tulsa World Hot Topic. The hottest topic of them all, of course, Super Bowl 59 this Sunday at the New Orleans Superdome with the Philadelphia Eagles against the Kansas City Chiefs. KC, the AFC champions, trying for an unprecedented third straight Super Bowl championship. Philadelphia Eagles trying for the rematch after they lost to the Chiefs, of course, in Super Bowl 57 in 2023. What a game that was. Kansas City prevailing 38-35 over the Eagles. Just a rematch of that game. Philadelphia won the NFC Championship, dominating Washington, the era-plagued Washington Commanders team, winning 55-23. The Kansas City Chiefs, meanwhile, once again, a great battle of Buffalo, and just pulled it out 32-29. Kansas City now playing in their fifth Super Bowl in 6 seasons, winning 3 straight AFC titles and going for that historic three-peat in the Super Bowl. Never happened before in the modern era. And Vegas has opened the Chiefs as a 1.5-point favorite, over-under total at 49.5. 2025 Super Bowl tickets, by the way, now average about $5,600 a piece. And Fox Network has announced it has sold out all of their revenue, advertising revenue for the big game. 30-second spot going for $7 million. And they just sold 10 additional spots recently for $8 million per 30 seconds. Worth every penny, though. It's the biggest audience in sports television every year. Last year, 123.7 million viewers. Expected to break that record again in 2025. Coming up here on Oklahoma Sports Scene, we'll be talking again to our Las Vegas friend, Vinny Magliulo, get the official line from Las Vegas. Oklahoma City Thunder is back on the home court, the KCOM Center in downtown OKC to start the month of February for its next 7 games, starting last Saturday with a 144-110 beatdown of Sacramento, led by Aaron Wiggins at a career-high 41 points. SGA added 29, and OKC scored its highest point total of the season at 144. The Thunder's forward Jalen Williams has been named to his first All-Star team, becoming the 6th player in team history to make the All-Star roster, joining the NBA top MVP candidate, the superstar of the Thunder team, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was the top vote getter with over 3 million votes from the fans. And former Oklahoma State guard Cade Cunningham, the Detroit Pistons, has been picked as a reserve in the league by the league coaches. He's the first Cowboy to make an NBA All-Star squad since John Starks back in 1994. John, of course, playing for the New York Knicks. The 74th NBA All-Star game is on February the 16th at Golden State's Chase Center in San Francisco on TNT, 7 p.m. local time. February begins at home ice for the Tulsa Oilers. 5 games at BOK Center, hosting Wichita, Allen, Texas, and Utah from the 1st through the 8th. Last Saturday, the Oilers erased 3 separate lead deficits to force overtime and win 4-3 in front of, listen to this, 13,980 fans. That is the league's 3rd largest crowd of the season. Then on Sunday, they shut out the Allen Americans 5-0, the 4th straight win for the Tulsa Oilers. They are red hot. Our FC Tulsa professional soccer team, under its first-year head coach Luke Spencer, opened its preseason schedule this past January 31st, defeating Oklahoma Wesleyan University 3-0 at the Titan Sports Center. FC Tulsa travels to Frisco, Texas. They'll play Dallas FC on February the 12th. Then they come back here for a doubleheader on February the 22nd on the University of Tulsa's soccer pitch. They'll be playing TU and Missouri State. Next, we'll take you to Las Vegas. Get the latest line on the odds spread from our friend Vinny Magliulo at the books in Las Vegas. Right back after this quick break.
The We Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The We Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. We Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Our story. It lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
The Super Bowl is the most watched, most bet-on sporting event in the nation. The game between the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs and the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles is played in New Orleans Superdome, but the betting action is, of course, most of it in Las Vegas. I reached out to a longtime friend of mine in Vegas, Vinny Magliulo. He is the sports book director for Gone Gaming. And he makes the line ahead of the games with over-under total as well. Last year, when the Super Bowl was hosted in Las Vegas, they broke all the betting records. $185.6 million bet just on the Super Bowl game. I asked Vinny, what do you expect this year?
Well, Chris, good to be with you again. And last year, of course, that handle number was helped not only by the matchup, but the fact that the game was here in Las Vegas. As you know, originally the game last year was going to be in New Orleans, and this year was going to be in Las Vegas. But because of some conflicts, I believe, with Mardi Gras, the two cities worked out a deal to flip them. So that $185 million here in the state of Nevada was a record. Will it be the same this year? I would say it would be close, if maybe not as much, simply because one of our principal markets is Southern California, and we all know what's happened down there and the unfortunate situation there. So could impact us. We certainly feel for those folks down there and send them our best wishes. But I think it's safe to say that the Super Bowl is still the single most wagered event of the year. I don't think this year will disappoint. Two very popular teams, two teams that met a couple of years ago, where we had almost $160 million wagered. So I think we'll probably get back to the 23 figure, closer to that than last year. Again, because the game is not going to be here in Las Vegas.
So, Vinny, what has brought about all this dramatic change? You ever think you'd have a Super Bowl hosted in Las Vegas, Sin City? Do you ever think you'd have the NFL promoting and betting on betting? The networks have their own websites now on betting. Things have really changed.
Boy, I'll tell you what, Chris, and you and I go back decades, and Las Vegas was always taboo, right? I mean, right. There was a time when we could not even put a Las Vegas ad in the Super Bowl. We were willing to pay the $1 million per 30 seconds, whatever it was, a few years ago, for an ad. Just come to Vegas. Not even a sports book ad, not a betting ad, just a general, by the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority ad to come visit Las Vegas. We were not allowed to even do that a decade ago, and here we are, basically partners. And you see the NFL with strategic partnerships with gaming companies. So it's refreshing, frankly. But we've got, of course, a team here in the Raiders, and I think that situation really signifies and shows that sports wagering in this country is now part of the sports fabric. It's mainstream. I mean, let's face it, whether it's the NFL or any sporting event that you or watch or view or listen to or you get streamed, it's always there's always a reference now to the gaming component, the betting component of it, and I don't think that's gonna change. It's refreshing, frankly, and we just enjoy the fact that folks can enjoy it now on a national level.
And Vinny, your hometown of Las Vegas has really become, some of the ways, the epicenter of sports. You hosted the Super Bowl last year, of course, always the National Finals Rodeo, such a great event there. You've had in the past calendar, Vegas hosted the Stanley Cup Finals, the WNBA Finals, Formula One racing, UFC fights. Vegas has become the mecca of sports.
Yeah, it really is. Chris, it's a great point that you bring up because we're we're good at putting on events, and we've got the hotel, the room inventory with over 165,000 hotel rooms in the inventory. It's a 24-hour town, and you've got now, besides, certainly, I mean, obviously my focus is the sports betting part of it, but the fact of the matter is there's world-class dining now. There's, shopping, world-class shopping. And so everything that you could possibly want to do outside of a sporting event is available here in Las Vegas, and it's available on a 24-hour basis. You mentioned all those great events, and of course, you happen to be here for many of the great fights over the years. Yeah. It's gone beyond that, and in 2 years, actually, we're going to host the national championship college football game here at Allegiant Stadium. So it's going to continue to expand, and I think that's something that really is going to help continue to set Las Vegas apart.
With Vinny Magliulo, the sports book in Las Vegas, the guy who sets the odds and lines on the big sporting events. Vinny, a landmark event, 2018, the Supreme Court struck down the prohibition of states providing legalized sports betting, and now it's gone to 38 states, Washington, D.C., and Puerto Rico. It really has just gone wild.
Yeah, Chris, PASPA was overturned. That was the Collegiate and Professional Sports Protection Act. That was made legislation back in the early 90s by one of my childhood idols, Bill Bradley, who, ironically enough, as a Knicks fan, he won me a lot of money when I was a kid. A lot of lunch money in my early days. Chris, as we've touched on the fact that PASPA was overturned and continues to gain steam and you mentioned the nearly 40 jurisdictions here in the States. I think that's going to continue. At some point, I would imagine that other states are going to look into it too, because you've got, let's say you had a state like Kentucky for the longest time that did not have sports wagering, but all their residents were going to the neighboring states that did, Indiana, Illinois, and Ohio. Wow. So finally, Kentucky has passed legislation. So you're going to see other situations like that, and I think you'll see more states get on board with sports wagering.
Certainly, Oklahoma is in that position, as is the big state of Texas, right down below us. Oklahoma battling right now with the governor. The governor wants to open it up to everything. The Indian tribes, 40 of them here in Oklahoma, want to have it only exclusively at their casinos. They're battling over that. But there have been estimates, Vinny, that it could be $60 million in revenue to the state of Oklahoma. That usually is what wins over in the end.
No question, Chris. When the state coffers can benefit from the taxation on it, then I think that's something. But I would encourage the sides to try to come together. Anybody looking for an exclusive is always going to get resistance, and it's only going to prolong the situation. So, in my humble opinion, it's about sharing in the wealth and not trying to get all the wealth, because trying to get all the wealth is only going to have things like, because Oklahoma, as you mentioned, how long have you folks seen? So you've got 5 years that this has been, PASPA was overturned. It's taken this long to even get to this point. They're still arguing about the same situation.
Yeah, what is the old thing? Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Yeah, well said, my friend.
All right, let's turn our attention to Super Bowl 59 coming up on Sunday. The Kansas City Chiefs going for the three-peat. The Philadelphia Eagles, a rematch of a couple of years ago in the Super Bowl. And interesting game. Let's talk about how you came up with the line and what is your line on Super Bowl 59, Vinny?
Yeah, Chris, we did open this immediately after the AFC title game when the Chiefs prevailed over the Bills. Of course, you have an idea going into the game what you may want to project, but what we have found over the years is that the second game always is fresh in everybody's mind. So the fact that the Eagles dominated, especially in that fourth quarter, the Washington Commanders, we knew they would be a solid choice with their defense. They came out of the game relatively healthy, and the great running game led by Saquon Barkley. So we saw that game, but then we saw, again, as we've seen so many times here in the last several years, the Chiefs finding a way to get to the title game, and probably with the best coaching staff, which is a major factor as well, and defeating the Bills yet again, breaking hearts up in Western New York. So we opened the game 1 with the Chiefs favored by 1 point, and the total, the over and under on the game at 50. Money quickly came in on the Chiefs. The game went to 1.5. It continued to come in on Sunday night and early Monday morning on the Chiefs. We went to 2. And of course, in my business, Chris, what we're doing, and by moving the line, is trying to find that threshold where we can get some money on the other side. And finally, we did. And when we went to 2, there was support for the Philadelphia Eagles. So presently, the game sits at 1.5 with the Chiefs favored. And I sit here and I look at, as I'm speaking to you, and I can see the bets coming in. Believe it or not, as I mentioned, Chiefs 1.5. The total has come down to 49, which I think will change. Because why? Because people love to bet on points. And as we get closer to the game next Sunday, we'll see more money coming in. Game is indoors, so weather's not going to be a factor. Very fast surface. 2 teams that certainly can score points with very popular players, especially on the offense. So I think that total will go back up again. But we should see pretty good two-way action on this game right up until game time.
Coming up next, our Vegas line maker gives us the numbers on Super Bowl 59 and the hundreds of those opposition bets with Vinny Magliulo. That's after this break.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
As the sun rises over eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
It's that time again, Tulsa. Your Tulsa Oilers indoor football team is back. Season kicks off Saturday, April 19th at the BOK Center, where your Oilers look to take down the San Antonio Gunslingers. Let's pack the house and start some ruckus. Season tickets start at just $9 per month with all home games on Saturdays. Experience the lightning-fast, hard-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Saturday, April 19th. Join the Oilers action.
We continue now talking about the betting on Super Bowl 59 with our sportsbook director, Gone Gaming in Las Vegas, Vinny Magliulo. I asked Vinny about the very popular proposition bets, the prop bets, and how they're now accounting for 65% of all the Super Bowl bets in Vegas.
Proposition bets, and we use the term, a prop as the shortened version of that. These are bets that you can make on certain factors in the game. These are the games within the game. And you can bet on everything from the player to score the first touchdown of the game, player's going to score the last touchdown in the game. You can bet every quarter individually. You can bet whether or not you think there's going to be a safety or not. Is the first score of the game going to be a touchdown, or is it going to be a field goal or any other score like a safety, which we had to pay off a few years ago in the Meadowlands at 60-1. Yes, when the Seahawks played the Broncos. Yes, 60-1. So these are the games within the game. There will be over 400 different prop bets on this game, Chris. And we don't wait necessarily for the game to end. By the way, if you happen to have a coin. We do offer bets on the coin toss, whether or not it'll be heads or tails. Will the team that calls the coin toss get it right? It's just it's just amazing at how many things, and you cannot believe how many people bet on the coin toss. I mean, there's six figures bet on the coin toss. It's instant gratification and something that, let's say you don't win the game. Well, you might have a prop bet or two or three that does come in. And that's what also keeps the interest on the game right up until the final gun sound. So you may not have a winning ticket on either side, but you may have several winning tickets on individual bets that take place within the game.
Okay, I'm going to ask you, is Taylor Swift a proposition bet?
You had to ask it, but I know it, and you can put an over and under on how many times I have been and will be asked that question. So I'll tell you the answer is no, and I'll tell you why. It goes along with the here's one for you. What's going to be the length of the national anthem?
Oh my gosh.
Or what is the color of Gatorade that the winning coach will be doused with? The reason that I don't, and many of my colleagues do not put those bets up, is somebody knows, Chris.
Yeah.
It's a great question you ask. So a few years ago, when the game was in Tampa, there was a group that paid someone to sit out in the parking lot of Raymond James Stadium during the national anthem rehearsals and timed the length of the national anthem. So I want it to be on the up and up. I want to know what you know. So because somebody knows who may be a director or a cameraman that knows whether or not, and that's in charge of whether or not how many times Taylor Swift is going to be shown, I leave that to the folks on the individual living room and family room betting circles.
Many of you guys are absolutely incredibly amazing in how close you are all the time. These lines, point spreads, over-unders and such, just amazing. Don't have to wish you luck, because I just noticed that only 3 times since 1991 has the public come out ahead. So you always seem to win.
You know what, Chris, and again, it's certainly, we do enough business, and it is about the game. And there are times when the game has really gone the public's way. I can remember one really in particular when the Denver Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers, and it wasn't that the game itself it went in the public's favor, because we did have two-way action on the game itself, but it was the money line, and it was a money line that was really beneficial to the underdog bettors that day in terms of the Broncos, and the public had a great day. Now, at the end of the day, does the house win? Sure. But it's also about other things. I look at it this way. We win because we have so much interest, Chris, and we have so many other offerings throughout the property and throughout the city. Yeah. So it's a win-win no matter what. And listen, even though we come out ahead on the game, there's sometimes when there are bets that get paid that are extremely lucrative. I'll give you one here recently where we had a guy in 2019 that the Rams would score exactly 3 points at 500 to 1. Think about this. He made 100,000. I'm sorry. He bet to win. He won $250,000 on just a prop bet. So while the game may go our way, there may be some bets that don't necessarily go our way, and that's good for business because all it does is recirculate money.
What's the biggest bet you've seen made on the Super Bowl and paid on the Super Bowl in all your years, Vinny?
$1 million several times, Chris. I did have one individual wager, $500,000. He bet $550 on the Atlanta Falcons against the Broncos that year, and then he bet $550 on the point spread, and then he bet $500,000 on the Falcons to win the game. He did not prevail on that game, but he did well. He did well in the baccarat pit that day, so he did a lot better in the baccarat pit than he did on the Super Bowl. But I've seen $2 million wagers on the favorite. Laying a price of about 2 to 1 on the Super Bowl. So and I've said this many times, Chris. 5- and 6-figure wagers are pretty much the norm on an event like this. They're not the exception. And, folks, and everybody gets involved with the Super Bowl. It's like the Kentucky Derby and racing. It's part of the American sports fabric now. So everybody will have a little bit of something. But I always encourage people to listen, stay within your means. Don't go overboard just because it is the Super Bowl, and sprinkle it around a little bit. Make a few prop bets. If you've got $200 to bet on the game, maybe you bet $100 on the game. And bet 4 or 5 different prop bets and enjoy it and spread it out a little bit, and you got an interest the whole game.
Well, Michael, take $10 of Michael Knight and me and put it on the Chiefs to win and go with the under for us.
I'll tell you what. I'll look forward to seeing you, buddy, and I hope I have to pay you guys.
I appreciate it, my friend. Again, Vinny Magliulo, he is the sportsbook director for Gone Gaming, great friend of ours from Las Vegas, Nevada. And Vinny, before we leave you, what is your personal pick? Do you have a favorite for the Super Bowl and why?
Well, I tell you what, Chris, with me, it's not about who I like, it's who I need. So that's us good bookmakers would just say, let's write a lot of business. I could see either side. I'm not hedging here. I could make a case for either side with these two teams, and which is really what makes for a good business. So the public's going to win no matter what, because it should be a pretty exciting game.
Have a great Super Bowl Sunday. Great time in Las Vegas, and Las Vegas taking off. Hope Oklahoma joins us pretty soon in sports betting. The state could use it for sure. Vinny, as always, great to see you, my friend. Thanks for joining us.
Great to be with you always. Best to you and all your viewers and listeners, Chris.
All right, buddy. We'll be right back with more Oklahoma Sports Scene after we take this time out. Make your bets.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit, so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
In 2018, the Supreme Court struck down the prohibition of states being able to legalize sports betting. Since then, 38 states have ratified it. They say this year they're projecting over $14 billion in revenue from sports betting. 38 states, but not Oklahoma. That's why we have our state senator, David Rader, here joining us now. Dave, where do we stand? We've been trying for several years. What's the latest on sports betting legalizing in Oklahoma?
Chris, it's always good to hear your voice. That distinctive Chris Lincoln voice. I appreciate that so much. We're still behind in Oklahoma. You know, many states were able to pass legislation because they work outside a compact with a sovereign nation. So our gambling allowance in Oklahoma goes through the tribes, and if the state and the tribes can work out an agreement, then we have gambling. The voters of Oklahoma, 2 decades ago, decided that would be okay. So it's not an issue whether we're deciding whether or not to gamble. That's already been there to the extent of how far it should go. So we know that we have many dollars leaving the state because we have many patrons and citizens and taxpayers that cross the state lines to go gamble on games. So if there's a way to have that done, then Oklahoma needs to step in because it's a way of revenue for the state. But I have many constituents asking for this, and we be very frank with you. We want to do this before Texas does, because if Texas does it, then we may not even have a market.
Agree with that, David. Also, it seems like out of the impasse seems to be with the governor, state, and the tribes. The governor wants to open it up. Everybody has a chance to take sports betting. The tribes want to protect their sovereignty on this thing. Timeline-wise, I noticed in 2020, Kevin said approved sports betting for a couple of tribes. That didn't work out. Then 2022, your representative friend Ken Luttrell offered HB 3008, and that died on the House floor. And picking up now, 2023, Luttrell had sports betting bill number 1027, and in 24, Senator Casey Murdoch got involved in using betting bill SB 1434, and Senator Bill Coleman then had a bill of HB 1027. So what's all this mean? Are we getting any closer?
It just means it's my turn. I think I'm optimistic, Chris. I think we're closer. Part of my commitment to this bill comes that we just reached an agreement with regarding car tags with the tribes, and that was kind of complicated there. So if we can reach an agreement and have a compact with the tribes and car tags, we can surely do it for sports gaming. Now, there's a lot of details that need to be worked out. Just whether this is just going to be a retail only event, or will it be available on the World Wide Web? That's something we have to work out, because if we make it available, online, then we have to work out the geo-fencing of the tribes, and which tribes receive what credit for the bet being placed, because much of Oklahoma is not in Indian territory. So how do you divide that out amongst the tribes? And then, how, if you are of one tribal area and then you travel to another tribal area to place a bet, does that mean that you have to place that bet in the tribal area in which you're standing? Things like that will have to be worked out. Those are all details that can be worked, but as of right now, they're not on paper.
And you realize Kansas now, some of the Kansas City metro area, they're more than $3 billion. They're taking on sports betting.
How much?
They're saying $3 billion in their sports betting, with 13.5 million going for taxes. I've heard projections from Luttrell saying 9.35 million they're projecting for Oklahoma. What are the figures you're hearing that could benefit the state treasury?
Yeah. That's what I'm hearing too. Somewhere, $10 to $15 million. I think, I hope that's the floor, Chris. We just have many citizens that drive up Highway 75 and Interstate 35, cross the line, place a bet, and come back. So we need to capture that. It could be a win-win-win. It's a win for the taxpayer, win for the tribes, a win for the state. Not too many times you can have a bill that can be a win-win-win. But the state is represented by the executive branch in these negotiations, and so the executive branch and the tribes are going to have to work this out. Hopefully, this bill is an encouragement to do that. What I learned too, Chris, is that this has to be 100% vote by the tribe.
Yeah.
Every tribe in Oklahoma will have to vote for this. You and I have talked about going to church. We've talked about going to church before. I'm a Baptist. It's hard to get 100 Baptists to vote 100 to nothing. So I'm assuming that most of the tribal members are Baptists too. So it might be tough.
Well, I appreciate your leadership on this. I know Oklahoma's dying to get it, and it'd be great for the state too. So let's hope we get things worked out. But got to ask before you leave, how about a Super Bowl pick for me, my friend? Who do you like in Super Bowl Sunday, of the Chiefs and the Eagles?
Well, I've been a Chiefs fan for a long time and be pulling for them, but it is hard for me to see how the run game from the Eagles will not be the difference. So, unfortunately, I think the Eagles will win because of that strong run game, and they'll just keep Mahomes on the bench for quite a amount of time. The but is always what every coach is going to say is, does Philadelphia hold on to the ball and not give Kansas City more drives than they're supposed to receive? And if they have a tendency to turn over the ball, then that changes. But all said and said, it's hard to beat the strong run game. I think the defenses are comparable. But if it comes down to a kick, man, both of the kickers are really good. But it is hard not to pull for, Buckner's been in that time and time again. You think the Chiefs would have an advantage there. But I had to go with the run game here. Although I will be pulling for the Chiefs. Don't get me wrong.
I got you. Quick note before I let you go. You're a TU alum, of course, TU quarterback.
Yep.
And I did play-by-play of Dave Rader as a quarterback at TU back in the day. So let's talk about the new head coach. A lot of enthusiasm around Trey Lamb.
I've met him and really like him. I just really pulling for him because, Tulsa is trying to do it the right way. They're not going to have a whole lot of NIL, and hopefully their student athletes will remain student athletes. I think we're losing that across the college front right now. I think the student athlete is a thing of the past for the big programs right now, and that's disappointment. I don't want to lose that at Tulsa. It's in a tough conference. Over the last couple of years, just a couple of players here and there, then we go, from, 4-7 to 7-4 and things like that. But I really think that he can have that done. I really like him. I love his head. He's headstrong, and he really believes he's going to get it done. And I think he will. I really, really like the guy.
Senator David Rader, thanks so much, Senator. As always, great to be with you, Dave. And
good to see you.
Wish you all the best as the session gets underway in Oklahoma City there. And you stay with us, because coming up next, Norm Hitzges down in Dallas talks about Dallas Cowboys, the new head coach. Jerry Jones is still screwing things up down there, and his predictions are straight ahead.
Tulsa Oilers hockey at the BOK Center. The ultimate experience of hockey and entertainment. Save big on season tickets today. Full season tickets starting as low as $17 per month for all 36 home games. Get your season tickets at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. Experience hard-hitting, glove-dropping, pulse-pounding, glass-rattling kind of thrill. Season tickets available now at TulsaOilers.com. That's TulsaOilers.com. This is your town, your team, your Tulsa Oilers hockey.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. A good friend of mine, Norm Hitzges, joins us now from his home in Texas. He's a Sports Radio Hall of Famer. Coming to the Dallas Cowboys for how many decades now, Norm?
Oh, my Lord. My first Cowboy camp was 1972. That's long enough, Chris.
I'd say so. My gosh. I got to ask you now, Norm, of course, Super Bowl Sunday, 59, this Sunday, the Dallas Cowboys, 8 Super Bowl appearances, 5 Lombardi trophies. Nothing, though, in 3 decades since 1996. Norm, what's happened to the Dallas Cowboys?
I hate to lay this on Jerry Jones. That's unfair because he certainly was a part of the beginning of the run that this franchise experienced when he bought the club. But in those years, he was greatly aided by the knowledge of Jimmy Johnson and his staff in putting together drafts and putting together rosters. And Jerry Jones is the owner and general manager. As an owner, he's excellent. As a general manager, I'm sorry, but he isn't. Chris, he's a gambler. He trusts his gut too much. And he doesn't at times listen to his own staff about players. And then at times, he doesn't consult his own staff about players.
Well, Norm, after that 7-10 season, Mike McCarthy and Jerry couldn't agree on 5 years or 3 years. So, of course, they let Mike McCarthy, a Super Bowl winning coach, go after 5 seasons there. And then the most bizarre search for a head coach and the most bizarre press conference I've ever seen when they named Brian Schottenheimer. Your thoughts on Jerry's new head coach at Dallas?
Oh, my Lord, how long is your program?
I know. Gosh.
Hey, Brian Schottenheimer is a good NFL coach. He's smart. First of all, he was not the offensive coordinator of the Dallas Cowboys. That has been reported over and over and over and over. It was Mike McCarthy's offense, and Mike McCarthy called the plays. Who was the offensive coordinator? Mike McCarthy. Brian Schottenheimer was a trusted and valued assistant to the head coach. That's not a knock on him. But, Chris, as I went back through his history, the last time Brian Schottenheimer was considered for a head coaching job was 2010 in Buffalo. In that 15 years, he's moved around the league as a good assistant coach. I don't want to knock Brian Schottenheimer. You pointed the finger at what was wrong here. The search.
Yeah.
They talked to 4 people. Well, if you don't count Dion, and that story was so Dion and Jerry could get their names in the press.
Right.
And they talked to Robert Salah, the former Jets head coach. Geez, just think if he'd have gotten a Cowboy job, he'd have worked for Woody Johnson and Jerry Jones. Oh, my God. That would qualify him as sainthood. Anyway, they talked to Robert Salah and Leslie Frazier. Chris, those 2 qualified as the necessary discussions with a minority. So let's put them aside. The other two people they talked to, Kellen Moore and Brian Schottenheimer. And the knock on Kellen Moore, apparently, was that they didn't know if he could command the room. Well, Chris, I'm beside myself. When you conduct, you don't have to talk to every person on the face of the earth, but bring in brains. Bring in Ben Johnson. Bring in Aaron Glenn. Bring in Pete Carroll. And ask them in the interview, tell me about our team. What would you change? What would you do here? What are you thinking about this team? If you head coach this team, that's valuable information. Those dudes are smart as hell. Get a little information from them. Maybe you will learn something, for God's sakes.
Meanwhile, Schottenheimer, 51 years old, 27 years as a NFL assistant, served as a coordinator in 4 different times, but I just kind of shake your head. And now that means Schottenheimer now is the 10th full-time coach of the Dallas Cowboys. By the way, the 9th by Jerry Jones since 1989 when he and Jimmy Johnson got that famous divorce. So real quickly, Norm, 8 Super Bowl appearances. How many Super Bowls of the Cowboys you remember? What were your favorite Super Bowls for Dallas?
Oh my God. Probably the one that finished the run. The one in Arizona where they beat Pittsburgh 27-17 because the Pittsburgh quarterback Neil O'Donnell kept throwing the ball to the Cowboys defensive back Larry Brown.
That's right. Yeah.
But that team ran itself. Barry, I love Barry Switzer. Barry's a good dude. But by the time that team got to the Super Bowl, first of all, they had lost talent. In the 4 years of the rule where contending teams couldn't spend as much money on free agency as the lower teams, the Cowboys lost 25 free agents and added 8. Well, by the time that team got to the Super Bowl, Chris, they were pretty thin. And I thought that team sucked it up, quite honestly. I thought that was a monument to some good players holding that team together for the run.
Hey, Norm, quickly, give me your prediction. Super Bowl Sunday, the Chiefs, the Eagles. What do you like?
I like the Eagles in this game. What worries me is the last time the Chiefs allowed a 100-yard rusher in a Super Bowl in a playoff game was 2019. They defend the run. And if Philly can't run the ball with Saquon Barkley, can't run it efficiently, that changes this whole picture. But I lean to the Eagles. I think they're a now team. But ponder for a minute, Chris Lincoln, what the world will say if the Chiefs win their 3rd straight Super Bowl and their 4th in 6 years.
Yeah.
My God, Chris. My God. And they just keep doing it. They've got this brilliant coach and this brilliant general manager, and they're not afraid to let people go. I mean, Tyreek Hill is a fantastic player. But when his time came up at the end of his contract, the Chiefs basically said to him, hey, we love you, but we're not going to give you that much money. And they used that money then to acquire other solid veterans to fill out their lineup. There's a message in there for Jerry Jones. There is.
Well, Norm, last thing I have to ask, give me a prediction of this one. When will we see Dallas Cowboys back in a Super Bowl?
How old are you?
77 years old, not getting any younger, Norm. We're going to see one.
I'm 3 years older than you, Chris.
Not looking
and
good.
I have my doubts either one of us will ever see another Cowboys Super Bowl winner before we head for the great Super Bowl in the sky.
Norm Hitzges, always good fun with you, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. I want to ask the folks stay with us. Next, Oklahoma State's incredible new head wrestling coach. We'll talk with David Taylor about their undefeated Cowboy wrestling team. We come back on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Around the clock, throughout eastern Oklahoma, we are devoted to one thing: improving the health of our communities, our home. We are your friends, your neighbors. We are the people of St. Francis.
It's that time again, Tulsa. Your Tulsa Oilers indoor football team is back. Season kicks off Saturday, April 19th at the BOK Center, where your Oilers look to take down the San Antonio Gunslingers. Let's pack the house and start some ruckus. Season tickets start at just $9 per month with all home games on Saturdays. Experience the lightning-fast, hard-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. Get your tickets now at TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Saturday, April 19th. Join the Oilers action.
Well, the third-ranked Oklahoma State Cowboy wrestling team just completed an undefeated dual season at Stillwater. They crushed number 20 Missouri 35-3. They're now undefeated 12-0 on the season, 9-0 in the Big 12, ranked number 3 in the nation under their first-year head coach, David Taylor. Called the Magic Man, a 20-year career as a dominant wrestler at every level, starting as a 4-time Ohio State high school champion. He had 182 record in high school. Then at Penn State, Taylor was a 134-3 wrestling record with 4 national finals and winning the Danny Hodge Award as the nation's best wrestler twice. Then his senior freestyle career, Taylor posted a mark of 161-22, traveling the world, including an Olympic gold medal and 3 world championships. Oklahoma State gave him the first $1 million college wrestling coaching contract. Looks like it's worth every penny. We recently talked about how fast this season has gone with the first-year coach of the OSU Cowboy Wrestlers.
It's gone fast. You know, it's been, I kind of joke, you know, it's like I feel like since we've been down here, you know, it's since May, I feel like we've lived like multiple lives, like lifespans, you know. It's been so many things changing and just, it's been, it's an exciting time and it's gone by very fast, you know. And so I just tell the seniors, you know, everybody, but I tell them specifically, hey, a piece of advice that I got one time, I was getting ready for the Olympics, and I was in training, and I was like, I can't wait to get there, I can't wait to wrestle, And the advice that I got was like, hey, don't wish the days away, you know, enjoy this process, enjoy this moment, you know. And then I just felt like my mindset shifted, and, you know, I really appreciated that time, and I think that's just what I try and share with these guys is don't wish the days away. Like, these are awesome times. You're gonna look back in your life and like love this time, and enjoy it, you know. So it's, I think that's what we're trying to do, just trying to stay present every day in practice, stay present every day when we're competing. And this group has been a great group. It's part of history, you know. It's part of you know, our first season, and, you know, we're just thankful to have done it with them. You know, these guys are making an impact on us as a coaching staff, you know, and I think we're trying to just help them, you know, be the best version they can be on and off the mat. You know, we're going to wrestle for a small portion of our life and our career, and we're going to be, you know, fathers and husbands and, you know, working in the real world, you know, down the road, you know. And I think it's just trying to make an impact on obviously their lives, and that's why we're here. That's what we're trying to do. Yeah, I mean, if you're just content to just win every single match, I don't know that you have the bigger goal in mind, right? I think we're always trying to improve, you know. And I mean, I honestly just, even you get your hand raised as a national champion, there's not really like a, you know, you're not really probably content there. You're probably looking back and probably seeing things you probably could have done a little better, right? So I think it's just constantly trying to improve. I think that's the mentality you want to have. But yeah, I think it's just all process, you know, just helping guys understand there's something bigger that we're working for.
For Coach Taylor, it's about more than just winning dual matches and tournaments. It's protecting and promoting the Cowboys' national wrestling brand.
Well, I just think it speaks a lot about the tradition of our program. You know, Oklahoma State's brand is a worldwide brand. It's not just like statewide, it's not nationwide, it's a worldwide brand. You know, Coach Smith was able to establish that, you know, with his success as a competitor and, you know, and as a coach, a legend, and obviously all the coaches that go before them. I mean, the tradition of our program is long-standing, and then I think you know, obviously some of the excitement that we've had this year. You know, people want to come watch our team wrestle, and it's exciting to be a part of a team that makes a difference in wrestling. You know, whether it's here or whether it's on the road, you know, it's pretty exciting for our guys to have the opportunity to go and compete in those environments all the time. You know, it's more enjoyable as a competitor for sure. You know, and we'll never go compete in probably an empty gym. You know, it's always gonna be full.
And that was the case again inside Gallagher-Iba Arena on Sunday afternoon. A crowd of 10,740 cheering Taylor's Cowboy wrestlers over Missouri 36-3. The fifth highest crowd of all time at OSU. That also set this year a new season average for attendance, 7,597 per match. It marked the 45th time the Cowboys finished the regular season undefeated at home. OSU has a match coming up Saturday at Arkansas Little Rock, and they close the dual season with a huge match at number 2 Iowa against the Hawkeyes on February 23rd. Number 2 Iowa, number 3 Oklahoma State. Then it's back here to Tulsa, March 8th to the 9th. It's the Big 12 Championships being contested here at the BOK Center, hosted again by Tulsa. Then on to Philadelphia, March 20th to 22nd. It's the NCAA Wrestling Championships. Back to wrap things up here on Oklahoma Sports Scene after our final break.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
The Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, home of the Paycom Jim Thorpe Award, is a treasure trove of memorabilia honoring Oklahoma sports legends. For museum hours or to schedule a tour, go to oklahomasportshalloffame.org.
Join us next week on Oklahoma Sports Scene to wrap up Super Bowl 59. I've hoped some special guests on that with you as well. And the NBA All-Star break coming up on this Sunday, February the 16th. In San Francisco, we'll catch up with the winningest team in pro basketball, Oklahoma City Thunder. In pickleball, it's the fastest growing sport in the nation. We've got a guy who knows all about it. Pickleball Will, a pro here in Tulsa, Oklahoma, to fill you in on this exciting new sport. Until then, as we always remind you, be a good sport.